actually, with 7 games remaining. Fremantle City have started their season inconsistently and will possibly be a little disappointed with their start, having earned the favourites tag from many with their night series win back in March. A win tonight won't quite put them back into the top 4, but it will put them above the NTC and right on the coattails of the Redbacks and tonight's opponents, Balcatta. They've got the talent on the pitch and they're unbeaten in 2 after a credible draw here against leaders Mum FC at the weekend. For Balcatta, their confidence is sky high, having come off a remarkable 11-0 win away at bottom club Subiaco at the weekend. Christy Astorp and Caitlin Douglas found form with hat-tricks, and the club currently on a 4-game unbeaten run. A win tonight, will move them above Perth into 2nd place, and that would set up an enticing game when they host leaders Mum FC at Grindleford at the weekend, and that one will be our commentary match on Sunday. Some great news for tonight's game as well, with an all-female referee team involved on the pitch. It's obviously great to see young female refs coming through the system with Football West, and as this competition grows, I'm sure the women's refereeing pool will too. Jess Bird will be in the middle with Kaylee Ormerod and Libby Caldwell in assistance. Perfect conditions here tonight, barely a cloud in the sky. I wouldn't want to put the mockers on it, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any rain tonight. There's certainly no breeze for the players to contend with, so 0 excuses all around. As the assistants just check the goal nets and the players gather in their huddles for one final time. Catch-up game tonight, of course, and then a full round of NPL WWA fixtures on Sunday afternoon at 3 different time slots. So plenty of football to look forward to. And we've got a pretty good game on our hands tonight as well. So a rare treat with midweek NPLW action coming to you here on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. A potentially huge game in the shake-up for the Top 4 Cup this season, with plenty at stake for these finals hopefuls. The official halfway point of the 2020 season is 90 minutes away. It's Fremantle City and Balcatta FC under the Murdoch lights, and we're off and underway with Balcatta getting us underway and kicking to the left, from the left to the right of your stream this evening, wearing their home blue, navy jersey and shorts. Fremantle wearing their changed all-white jersey as Gale looks to try and feed a pass forward. We just wait for play just to settle a little bit. I'm expecting a frenetic pace from this one tonight. We're going to have plenty at stake for all of these teams, as Michaela Lyons is fouled in midfield, and that'll allow Fremantle City to get some bodies forward for the first time this evening. Nadillo. Ball works back to the skipper, Tash Rigby. Marchetti. Balcatta looking to press their opponents early as Crane turns that one around the corner. Pass forward, looking for the returning run of the 2019 Golden Ball winner. An award she won in a 3-way tie with teammate Laura Waltman and Sean Billum of the Northern Redbacks. Astorp couldn't quite get to the ball, but Isabel Bridges got plenty of time to turn and retreat all the way back to her stopper, Dale Schroeder. A little bit of zip off the synthetic pitch here at the Murdoch University campus. Definitely one for the place to keep an eye on in terms of the weight of their passes, as effectively clearance there was McCartney out of defence. She'll come wide now to Alberts, who does nicely to skip inside, coming across there, Georgie Ireland, and now Bridger will tidy up to Ireland again, and that pass through will set Jamie Lee Gale on her way, but it's good covering defending there from Cartney at the back. Shouts for a foul. Throw there, nothing doing. Panea works it around to Alberts. Ireland. Little clip down to Leak on the left-hand side, who's got time to look up and put a cross into the area. It was half cleared by Harvey there, and away come Balcatta looking to counter-attack down this left-hand side. Now, this is Harvey now, apologies. She's pacing down this left-hand side and looking ahead forward for the run of Caitlin Douglas, who was the top scorer for Balcatta before a 4-goal haul last week from Christy Astorp. Incredible performance last week of course, that 11-0 win down at Rosalie Park against Subiaco. Astorp trying to flick that one around the corner for Harvey, who lets that one run out of play. The last touch off Marchetti there. Astorp gets a foot in there to try and keep that one alive, but that'll run all the way out for a goal kick. Both of these teams showing some pretty good form. Balcatta only tasting defeat once this season, and that was in round 2 against Perth Soccer Club in the Italian derby. I've gone 4 unbeaten since then, 2 wins and 2 draws, and very good performances against some experienced teams such as the Northern Redbacks, and then last week obviously that big win which we spoke about must have given them so much confidence, and obviously next weekend as well, that game with Mum FC to look forward to as Fremantle City released down that left-hand side through Bridger, but great place from Alberts to get back. Gale will get on the end of that, and I think the last touch was off McCartney there. It wasn't. It was a goal kick, according to a referee out in the field, Jess Bird, who was a lot closer to the action than I was. Restarting goal kick here from Gabby Del Bosco. 6 appearances this season, played in every game, of course. On 2 clean sheets against Subiaco and Curtin so far. Very good standard of goalkeeper, having played for the Glory in the W League and the Young Matildas, and under 20s for Australia as well, as Fremantle City take the free kick quickly and try and get onto the attack. Marchetti's continue to run. Veroni was stepping in, and now Harvey is ahead of her in support. Very young, pacey left-hand side there for Balcatta as Crane tries to release Leak, who was looking to just sneak in behind the Balcatta defence, and then unfortunately for Alberts, her ball through hit the back of Panea, who's switched sides just at the moment to this right-hand side. Douglas. Astorp running ahead of her. She's got plenty of pace, has Balcatta's top scorer, and she's got time to turn on this. Now Douglas is arriving in the middle, cut out temporarily by the Fremantle defence. It was Nadio back there, and then Waltman can set forward to Gale, and then the releasing ball for Lyons was on for a moment. And eventually the clearance from McCartney just staved off the danger for the moment. Good pace to this one so far in the opening stages here at Murdoch University synthetic pitch. Rearranged round 6 NPL WWA fixture. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages tonight. Nadio has Bridger to her left, comes inside instead. Going to ground there was Godding. No foul there from the Fremantle City defender who was charging forward from defence. Here she is again, Nadio. Crane. It's a lovely ball over the top, looking for the run of Leake, who's in behind, but she just strayed slightly offside, did Annabelle Leake. Fremantle City, of course, as we touched on in the pre-game, a little bit inconsistent this season, but they look to possibly have found their feet in the past couple of games. They did miss a game, of course, 10 days ago on the Sunday due to the waterlogged pitch and the difficult conditions in the air, but they did have a nice win against Subiaco away from home by 4-0 before a very good 0-0 draw here on Sunday against the current leaders Mum FC, who had been in a tremendous vein of form up until that point. Well, they still are, to be honest, but it was a run of 6 games winning in a row that was broken on the weekend. Foul was on Nadio though, no advantage paid there by Jess Bird. Good strength shown there by Crane to maintain possession for Fremantle, who've started pretty brightly here. Gemma Crane's been on the ball quite a lot in this opening 10 minutes or so, and a player of her quality, you can imagine that'll be very crucial in terms of giving her the keys to unlock this match this evening. Now, turnover from Balcatta will allow Georgie Island to charge through midfield. Stepping in pretty well there was Veroni, who's featured in every game for Balcatta as well. Now the dangerous Crane tries to charge through, but that's good experience defending from McCartney, who read the play well and stepped out early. Marchetti, lovely ball in behind for the run of Jamie Lee Gale, who's crossing to the middle, was a little bit too close for Taubasco. Annabelle Leake was the only one making the run there towards the 6-yard box, but Taubasco's positioning was really good. And the handling was even better as well. Now Leake's looking to get in behind the defence again. She's onside on this occasion though, and she's got Lions ahead of her. She'll try to feed the ball back for Leake, who continued her run, but play breaks down on the edge of that 18-yard box once again for Fremantle City. Balcatta's back four have defended pretty well so far, and now Balcatta will look to launch the counter-attack of their own through Douglas, who cuts inside from that left-hand side and strikes on goal early, but it was fumbled there in the end from Schroeder. I thought it was going to be collected quite comfortably by her, but it just slipped out of the hands, and luckily for her, she had some support in the form of Nadio, who was back there as well. Godding. McCartney. Clearance from Waltman. Lyons. Crane. First touch just got away from her, but she was tenacious in getting back in there and winning it back. Stood up by the defender, and it was Noscent who did well to enforce the block and then go back for seconds and force the clearance upfield, and that was really good defending there from the Balcatta fullback. I dealt really well with a dangerous Crane who stepped in really strongly. Rigby. Lions. Pass cut out there by the Balcatta. Full back and a little bit of a battle in midfield between Godding and Ireland there for the ball. Dopra's ball forward. Harvey on this left-hand side. It'll come all the way back to Monique Dopra here, who looks to put the early cross in the middle. Header was away from Buxy. Still here for Balcatta if they can work it down this right-hand side. The cross is in from Noscent, but couldn't quite wrap a boot around that one, and out of play it goes for the goal kick. Buxy. Georgia Island. Thought it went, but it's cut out there by Veroni, and then the releasing pass forward was a little too heavy for Lions. Astorp, who's dropped a little bit deeper to get involved in the game, and that's a good ball over the top for Ashley Panay. Early cross into the middle, was looking for the run forward from Alberts, but once again the cross a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. We've had a little bit of that at both ends so far early on. Possibly that's just the ball zipping a little too quickly off the synthetic, and a girl still adjusting to it and not quite being able to wrap their foot completely around the ball yet. I've spoken to a few of the players and the coaches, and they have all said that it does take a little bit of time to adjust to the pitch, not just the zip but also the bounce as well. Balcatta had no problems in winning here in round one, though, against Mom FC, and Fremantle City obviously took a point against Mom FC at the weekend as well. So both of these teams have got results on this ground this season. As Goddings ball forward, looks out right, and then Diopra's ball was a nice one for Harvey, and that pass released Douglas, who's onside and in behind. Caitlin Douglas, that's a good save from Schroeder, who came off her line quickly. Alberts with the follow-up. It was a cross shot of sorts from Alberts, and Douglas was lurking, but it was good goalkeeping from the Fremantle number one again. Really good timing shown there by Dale Schroeder to enforce the save. Caitlin Douglas obviously off that hat-trick last week with plenty of confidence, but outfoxed there by the goalkeeper on that occasion. First real major sight for either team so far tonight as Fremantle City look to create a chance of their own at the other end, and the pass from Marchetti was a little heavy for Crane. Both of these teams were in the Women's Premier League last season in 2019, the final season of the old competition before the newly formed NPLW, which aligns with the women's NPLs across Australia. Long overdue, but the wait somewhat worthwhile as it's thrown up a pretty good competition. Every team has shown signs that on their day they're good enough to go deep into this season's competition. It was Gale on that right-hand side who was trying to carve out an opening, and now if Panea can bring this in, they've got a chance to counter Balcatta. It didn't matter in the end because backing her up was a teammate, and now Godding's ball forward for Astorp. And that's a nice looking pass again for the run of Douglas. They've shown such a good relationship this season, Astorp and Douglas, with the way they've played together as a front two. Astorp does like to just drop that little bit deeper and get on the ball. You can just see that Caitlin Douglas really enjoys playing off the shoulder and just turning on that last defender. Both equally as versatile as each other. You'd sense if it came to it, as Fremantle City managed to clear things away, and Lions will find Bridger out wide. Ball comes back to Bridger, but pass forward for Ireland wasn't quite on the mark. Both of these teams were in the top 4 cup in 2019. Balcatta lost 1-0 to the Northern Redbacks in the semi-final, while Fremantle City, they too departed the competition in the semi-finals to Queen's Park. Balcatta did finish 6 points behind Fremantle City in the regular season in 2019. A little bit closer this time round. Gale, who's just drifted to that right-hand side now to try and link up with Marchetti a little bit more. Harvey decides to go all the way back to goalkeeper Dal Bosco, and that was a nice distribution out, although the bounce did catch Alberts off guard for a moment, and Fremantle City did think about trying to make head with the advantage, but Jess Bird will bring that back, and Fremantle City have a free kick in a pretty good position here. Chance to possibly get some players forward into the box. They've only got 4 forward at the moment, with Marchetti arriving on the edge of the area. Looks as though Ireland is standing over it, and it's something that they've worked on at training clearly, but Ireland's ball was a little bit too close for Dal Bosco there, who gathered pretty easily in the end. Astorp heads forward. Rigby. Godding. Nossent. Pass forward looking for the run of Douglas. Caitlin Douglas, who scored the second fastest goal in W League history in 2016-2017 against the Western Sydney Wanderers. 14 seconds that one was, as Gale looks to cross early for Lions, who's got time to turn on the edge of the area if she wants to. She tries to take on all comers, and cutting across there was Veroni, who launches Balcatta forward as well, but counter-attack temporarily held up, and Godding will get back on the ball. Wider is Astorp. Harvey's now made a run forward, but Rigby, with all that experience, will make that look pretty easy, although Schroeder was a little casual there, and the ball over the top from Harvey was tantalisingly wide of the post. Wasn't quite sure if that one was going to drop into the corner of the net or not, but it was mighty close from Harvey. It looked to lob Schroeder after she was caught in possession. Bridger scored the opening goal in the 3-0 night series win for Fremantle City back in March. Also scored against Balcatta in the group stage of the night series as well, did Isabel Bridger. Well, not bad for a left back, as that's a dangerous looking ball over the top, looking for the run of Gale. Pass forward from Buxy will now look for the run of Crane in return. She's done really well to get on the end of that from Alberts. Cross in the middle was slightly deflected, and it took the sting off it nicely enough for Dal Busco to come and gather. Gale. Cross into the middle. Dangerous looking one. Lyons was arriving. Follow-up shots. A good one from Week off the underside of the bar. And it didn't cross the line. Wow, that was a close shave for Balcatta's defence there. Gale's ball, a dangerous one. Lyons' initial effort was blocked, and then Leake was arriving on the scene, and Dal Busco was beaten all ends up by the powerful swerving drive. Close moments at both ends for these teams, who know a win tonight will do so much for their top four hopes in season 2020. Crane. Pass is a dangerous one there, but Rigby makes it look a good one. Ireland. Gale. Pass from Marchetti, a little overhit. Fremantle City 0, Balcatta 0. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Chances at both ends in this one. A really good pace to this encounter as well. Plenty at stake, as we've just touched on, as well as Harvey looks to try and get in behind Rigby there, but Tash Rigby showed plenty of experience there. The Perth Glory W League skipper, who was appointed after Sam Kerr's departure from the Glory as captain. Came off the bench last week, did Tash Rigby for Isabel Bridger, who was injured, but Bridger obviously no problem in taking her place in tonight's lineup. Gale. Pass forward was a dangerous one for Lyons. It nearly got through as well. And now Balcatta can try and counter-punch at the other end. And Asthorpe releases the striking Harvey. And that was a good save from Schroeder. Stuck up a mitt and got enough of a hand on it to tip it over the bar. Once again, Balcatta showing they've got plenty to offer on the counter-attack, and they've got a corner now from Douglas, which will be an in-swinger from that left-hand side. Clearance was sliced away by Ireland. We'll have a secondary set piece. Gotting on the goalkeeper. Panea, Astorp, and Doppera all lurking on the edge of that area. With Alberts at the back post. It's a deeper looking ball in that time. Alberts got a head to it. It nearly broke the way of Astorp, but it was good defending there on the last line from Fremantle. I think it was Coral Buxy there who was on the post, really aware and alerts the danger that Astorp was presenting, and a releasing ball was attempted out of defence there by Nadio. Lee couldn't quite reel it in, and the last touch was off Nossen. Lyons breaks through Balcatta's defence, temporarily held up, twisting and turning his Lyons. It's straight at Del Bosco though. Both keepers have been called into action in this first half. Definitely earning their keep tonight. Lovely control there from Astorp. Godding tried to thread the Ivan Eagle. It was charged down by Crane, though, who's only got Gale really in support at the moment, and Godding was able to come across it. Broke the way of Crane again, though. Little reverse. Tried to pick out Gale, and in the end, Balcatta can scramble that one clear and try to counter down this right-hand side through Alberts, who does really well to shrug off Bridger, and now Douglas will try to make hay down this right-hand side. She ran out of real estate, though, and couldn't quite dig out the cross efficiently enough for Schroeder. Ex-Southwest Phoenix goalkeeper Dale Schroeder. Dangerous play from Veroni at the back. Made it look easy in the end. Diopera. Panea. Step in there was good from Ireland. And now Buxy, who anticipated the contacts of Panea from behind and won the foul. Coral Buxy, who's had 2 appearances in the squad in season 2020. She replaced Annabelle Leake after 65 minutes last week against Mum FC. That was actually her first showing since round 1, so disrupted start to 2020 for her, but good to see her in the starting lineup as McCartney was swarmed on by 3 Fremantle City players there and just had to hack it behind for a corner in the end. Ireland's corner, shorts the near post. Cleared away partially by Doppera. Follow-up is in from Ireland again. It'll break to Marchetti, and third attempt at a cross is in from Ireland, and stooping was Gale at the back post, and probably should have opened the scoring there in the end. Douglas, lovely turn around the corner there to release Angelique Alberts, who's got plenty of space to run into. Down this right-hand side cross was a dangerous-looking one initially, and coming across was Rigby. Again, showing all that experience to come across and charge down that counter-attack from Balcatta. End-to-end action at the moment. It'll be Douglas with the latest set piece. Another deep one to the back post. Arriving was Panea. Boot was swung there by Lyons, I think it was. Who was back in there defending, and then Alberts will stay on. In fact, it was Douglas who stayed on that right-hand side. Now, who'll get there first? It'll be Gemma Crane, who shows a lovely step to go past Harvey in midfield, and will look to try and release a teammate down the right-hand side. It's Jamie Lee Gale, who's gone with a deep cross to the back post. Del Bosco shouts, and Del Bosco gets. Douglas, look at the space in midfield for Balcatta here, or for both teams, in fact, as Douglas comes inside and strikes left-footed, palmed away by Schroeder. It might have been creeping the wrong side of the post anyway, but the Fremantle goalkeeper couldn't be sure whether it was going wide or not. Godding. Panea. Left it for Douglas. Godding again. Fake to pass, and then the pass into feet was a little too strong for Alberts, who couldn't quite bring it under control, and we can all take a bit of a breath for a moment or two. Just the one meeting between these teams in the new NPL WWA era. Teams have obviously come across each other before in the Women's Premier League, as discussed before, but it was a 3-0 win in the group stages of the night series. Goals that night from Isabel Bridger, Michaela Lyons and Courtney Butlian. Astorp looking for that releasing pass of Douglas again, but Fremantle City's defence dropped a little deeper on that occasion and didn't give Douglas the opportunity to run in behind, as we've seen her do on a couple of occasions so far tonight. Astorp, D'Opera. Harvey won't get there before Rigby, who's quite keen to try and let that run out, but in the end she had to take a touch and show that expertise we've fawned over plenty of times tonight to win the throw-in off Harvey. Alberts. Nossen links up with a fellow right-sided player. Ball took a couple of deflections and broke to Crane, and Gale couldn't quite bring that one under control again up front, and it just halted the charge of Fremantle City for the moment again. Bridger looks ahead for Gale, who passes on one more to Leake, who looks to skip inside, and then coming across was Godding. Gale striking from distance, Jamie Lee Gale off the bar again, following just wide from Lyons, deflected off her again off Crane's shot, and behind for a goal kick in the end. Goodness me. Thunderous strike from Jamie Lee Gale. Second time that Del Bosco's been beaten all ends up and has relied on a crossbar for that bit of insurance. And then Crane's follow-up was deflected off Lyons and behind for a goal kick. Crane. Gale. Little tickle around the corner for Lyons is a good one. She was onside, but Alberts came across well to enforce things. In fact, it was Noscent who showed good pace there. Bridger. Ball just ran away from Annabelle Leake there. Just the one goal this season for Annabelle Leake in the 4-0 win over Subiaco. Has played for WA at junior level, formerly of the NTC. Also trialled for the under-21s women's state team in 2019 as well after a good season. McCartney. That's a good ball for Harvey. If she's quick enough to get on the end of it, she is. And then Harvey was converged upon by two Fremantle City midfielders who will look to try and break forward now through Marchetti from full back, who's got Lyons on her outside. She should be able to keep it in play. Crossing in the middle is a little close to Del Bosco, though. Goldfields WA state team goalkeeper of 2019, Gabby Del Bosco, and she's been a really secure pair of hands so far tonight, even if she has had to rely on her crossbar a couple of times. Nadio. Another ex-NTC youth team player, Steffi Nadio. Coburn City Girls Juniors. Gale. Crane. Ireland. Marchetti. Ball forward is down the line looking for the run of Crane, who's drifted out wide, and once again the cross is too close to Del Bosco. Just spurned a couple of good opportunities to get dangerous crosses into the area in this half of Fremantle City. When they have actually gotten into the area with those deliveries, they've looked pretty good. Gale arguably should have scored with one at the back post a few minutes ago now. Has Lyons stayed on side here from Ireland's pass? If she has, she's in on goal. It's Michaela Lyons who's striking and opening the scoring for Fremantle City. Their top scorer has done it again. Michaela Lyons. Fremantle City 1, Balcatta 0. So the skipper gets a fourth goal of the 2020 NPL WWA season. Michaela Lyons scored a great solo goal a couple of weeks ago against Subiaco with a driving run from the left, and now she's managed to stay on side on the right-hand side from Georgie Island's pass, and once she was able to bring the ball under control, it was a tough task for Del Bosco when faced one-on-one with this forward. Well, given the way the first half has panned out, I think I would have been surprised if I was announcing to you that it was a goalless first half, and thankfully we have had something put in the back of the net to reward both of these teams who've shown great attacking enthusiasm in this half. Shouts for handball against Godding, and Jess Bird has given the free kick, I think. She has. Bridges pass, Crane's down the line and in behind the defence with the quickly taken free kick. Still going, Gemma Crane. Cut back to dangerous on the lines. Bridger! Off the bar. In fact, I thought... Well, I think that hit the edge of the post in the end and went behind. Couldn't quite see as that one was swerving away from goal over on that far side, and if that did clip the post, it's the third time that ball has hit the frame of the goal in this half. Well, we did touch on Isabel Bridges' keenness to get forward earlier on, and that was pretty much the last action of the first half. A really open end-to-end contact here at the Murdoch Synthetic. Fremantle City 1, Balcatta FC 0. Only goal of the game provided by Fremantle City skipper and leading scorer Michaela Lyons in the shadows of half-time. Could have been more goals in this half, though, to be fair. Twice Fremantle City have hit the woodwork through Jamie Lee Gale and Gemma Crane, while at the other end, Caitlin Douglas was through on goal and thwarted by Dale Schroeder before Cassie Harvey's shot with the goalkeeper off her line was just wide of the goal. But we've got a really good game here, and as it stands, we're 45 minutes away from the official halfway point of the NPL WWA in season 2020. And it's Fremantle City who are closing the margin on the top four if results stand as they are. Fremantle City 1, Balcatta FC 0. We'll be back with more in around 10-15 minutes' time. Welcome back to this round 6 rearranged NPL WA clash between Fremantle City and Balcatta FC. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages, it's Fremantle City who lead by a goal to nil. Provided to them by their skipper Michaela Lyons, her 4th of the season. And that will currently close the gap on the top 4 for Fremantle City, who have started a little bit slow this season, but are starting to make their move leading into the second half of the competition, and they've made a decent start going forward here, but Nossent will just look to get that the way any old how. May have noticed the referees have also changed their colour of kit in this second half as well. They were wearing grey in the first half as Douglas looks to make a charging run down the right-hand side. She nearly got a second crack at the cross, and last touch was adjudged to have been off Nadio there. So an early set piece for Balcatta here. They'd love to get one back early in this second half. Astorp leapt in the air. It will come out as far as Harvey, who looks to clip one back into the area. Rigby was there clearing. It'll eventually break the way of Fremantle City once more, but Gale's pass a little heavy for Leake to reel in. Alberts. Douglas! Goodness me, that wasn't far away at all in the end. Let fly with that left boot did Caitlin Douglas, and they had Schroeder worried for a little while there. She was just backpedaling, and luckily for her, the ball dropped on top of the net and out of harm's way as far as she was concerned. It was an excellent first half of football here under the lights at the Murdoch University campus. Hopefully we see more end-to-end action in this second half. As well as their goal, Fremantle City did hit the bar, and Balcatta had a couple of good chances as well. One was a great save from Schroeder to time her anticipating run out of goal. And the other was nearly an error from Schroeder as she didn't quite time her run out of goal, and Cass Harvey just put her shot wide of the post. Now, Schroeder's throw was a little uncertain there. And Douglas tried to capitalise on the loose ball, but couldn't quite wrap her foot around the ball. Just a little miscommunication out of Fremantle City's defence. They are technically the visitors tonight. This is a Balcatta home game, which was rearranged. Great ball from Lyons to turn around the corner for Marchetti, who's got plenty of pace, but she's not quick enough to keep that one in. Evie Marchetti, who the former WA school sports schoolgirls rep, actually won a bronze medal at that competition as well when she was in her later years of high school. Douglas tries to help that one around the corner to Astorp. Have had their chances tonight, have Balcatta, but Christy Astorp's not quite got herself into those dangerous positions that she found herself in against Subiaco at the weekend when she scored those 4 goals. She played that deeper role tonight to try and feed the passes to Douglas, but I'm sure as the night wears on, if Balcatta is still chasing results, she'll be forced to play a little further forward as Douglas flicks that one on. It ran out to Godding, and then Nadio affects the clearance at the second time of asking. Shouts for handball against Harvey were given, even though Buxy stepped in and won the tackle anyway. No changes at half-time, just to confirm as well. Both teams starting the second half with the same team that they started the first half with. Pass from Nadir was nearly a little shaky, but worked out well in the end. Marchetti. Pass across goal was a dangerous one. Boxy helped it back to Nadir again. Now Ireland, turning around the corner for Gale. Crane looks to charge down this right-hand side. She's done a very good job up until now, and then Godding flew in with the tackle advantage paid by Jess Bird, and Lyons is trying to hair down this right-hand side. She ran out of room though, and out it went for a goal kick. Jess Bird just walked over after that challenge from Monique Godding and just gave her a little talking to. Possibly something along the lines of next time there's a challenge like that, you might find yourself in the book. No harm done on Crane though, who was back to her feet sharply after that challenge, as Astorp is deep once more. Pressure on Balcatta's defence. Inventive little flick from Godding. Ireland couldn't get the better of Godding and Harvey there. Releasing ball out wide for Alberts. Douglas, clip around the corner. Astorp was waiting in the middle. It'll break for Panea about 25 yards from goal. Early strike looks good. It was possibly just drifting wide of the upright, but once again, Schroeder wasn't taking any chances. Some really good long-range efforts tonight, and now the flick on from Gale is a dangerous-looking one for the running Leak, who managed to charge down Veroni's tracking run. And in the end, Leak couldn't affect any chance with the subsequent play. Rigby stepping forward. Little touch on from Ireland, wasn't quite on the same wavelength as Gale. Fremantle says should be able to get the ball back out wide though and look to make a move forward, although Harvey steps in again really well there. Just a little bit patchy from both teams in the centre of the park at the moment. Now here's Gale. Pass around the corner was a little heavy, although it did break to Crane. Good challenge there from Veroni, and now Panea will try and release Douglas with the ball forward. It was good covering defending from the Dio though. That's been a really good battle to watch tonight, that one between Douglas and the Dio. Two number 10s going at it, and now Panea will try one from range again. It looked dangerous once more. Ashley Panea trying to loop on over the head of Schroeder this time. Panea, who's got 3 goals this season, 2 of them were in that big win last weekend. She's been with Balcatta for quite an extended period of time, as a lot of these girls have actually for Balcatta. Very familiar with the way each other play, so perhaps not so surprising to see them making a move on this 2020 NPL WWA season, as Panea's ball forward finds Godding, who invites Diopera forward. Going to ground was Lyons there, I think, who was tracking back. And she affected the clearance sufficiently to concede a throw in. Last touch off Douglas there, who couldn't quite bring that one under control. Balcatta, one of the real trailblazers in WA football in terms of having the men's and women's teams for a long period of time. They did form a senior women's team back in 1993, a couple of years after they reformed from their original days as Balcatta, Etna, and their merger with East Fremantle Tricolour and Perth Azzurri. And in their first season in the Premier Grade in 1994, they actually had 11 state reps at various levels. So they're a club that's taken women's football very seriously for almost 30 years now. And hopefully some more of these men's NPL powerhouses. We've already seen it with Perth Soccer Club this season introducing a women's team into the senior competition. It'd be great to see teams like Bayswater and Floreat get their women's teams up and running as well. As Cross was charged down, and that might allow League to just cut inside there and try and get the ball back, but wasn't quite able to wrap her foot around it. I think it was Gale, in fact, who was chasing after that one. It was. McCartney. Ball forward's a good looking one for Alberts on this right hand side. She's got three players in the middle. One of them was Astorp lurking behind Rigby, who stepped in to put the clearance into touch. Just to finish on Balcatta with their logo, and they actually do have a picture of Mount Etna on there in tribute to their Balcatta Etna days, with a football erupting out of a volcano. Volcano being Mount Etna, of course, the active volcano in the east of Sicily, as Fremantle City turns to the bench for the first time this evening. It's Georgie Lyons, who's exited, and Ashley Santich, who's come on in her place. Missed the weekend's goalless draw with Mum FC here, did Ashley Santich, but had played in every game up until that point. Tireless shift from George Highland in the centre of the park tonight. It's obviously going to be 3 games in the space of a week for both of these teams tonight, so really important to perhaps manage the squad and make sure that each team has their best possible lineup available for all 3 of those fixtures. Ball forward from Harvey was a little heavy, and Rigby was able to retrieve the ball, although it had crossed the line before it continued out of play. First touch for Santich, a little heavy off the surface perhaps. Harvey. Panea. Harvey looked to return it to a teammate on this left-hand side. Good header there from Harvey. No teammate at the drop of the ball there. Brave stuff there from Godding, and they've let the ball bounce here. Fremantle City shouts for handball against Nossent, who was arriving late on the scene, and they were given. Fremantle City, meanwhile, have only been known as Fremantle City since 2014, but been over 100 years of combined history between the mergers of Fremantle United and East Fremantle Tricolour. Shouts for a foul there against Marchetti there. Very ambitious club as well, Fremantle City, it should be said. They've been making waves in the men's competition as well under Cam Lord, who joined from Rockingham City earlier this season, and they've actually expressed interest of being an A-League expansion club in the future of Fremantle City. So a club that are also taking their men's and women's teams very serious and with varied levels of success as well. Douglas. Astorp. Astorp wants to get onto that right foot. She strikes. It's well charged down by Rigby, though. There's been an absolute wall at the back tonight whenever the balls come near her. Now Marchetti bringing the ball forward. It'll eventually land at the feet of Lions via Panea. And now Gale tries to turn her opposite marker around the corner. It's good defending there from Diopera, though, to stay on her feet and not dive in. Gale versus Diopera again. Zeno made the initial clearance, and then getting back there in support was Diopera. Now Balcatta will try and launch forward. Douglas didn't quite stick at the feet of Veroni. And then stepping in well was Bridger, although it'll still run into the path of Noscent here, who'll put the early ball in. Astorp was arriving, and it was just a little bit too far in front of the striker. Teasing ball in there from April Noscent. It looked a good one for a moment, as Crane chases after Alana Veroni again, and the pressure was good enough to win a throw-in. Rigby's cross, charged down by Veroni. Cleared into touch once more. That one will roll down the hill to our right, so we will need a second football to get things underway again. So Fremantle City 1, Balcatta FC 0. Michaela Lyons' goal still separates the team so far. They're on the attack again as Rigby's cross comes in. It's headed away. It'll drop to the feet of Bridger, who locks up and picks out Santich with the pass. Time to turn on the ball and look for the feet of Gale, but stepping in really well there was Harvey on that occasion, and she did really well to maintain possession for the amount of time she did, as Noscent comes forward in support. Astorp looks to return to Noscent. It may yet break the way of Douglas. Shouts for a foul, nothing doing. Douglas there trying to roll off Steffi Nadio there. Jess Bird said that the ball was won. Now Santich. Godding with that superb work rate that we've seen all evening so far. She's been brave in the challenge and keen to get back to support her defence and forward in support of her attack as well. Douglas. Releasing ball was looking wide for Alberts, but in position A was Nadio to effect the clearance. Leak will try and get the better of Nocent, but Balcatta fullback able to get a foot in there. Gale. One-on-one with McCartney and winning the battle so far. Tries to link up with Sancic, who was there supporting, but Nocent was there in cover, although Veroni's pass was intercepted, and Fremantle City will maintain possession and come forward again. Crane. No one on her outside, so she has to cross instead herself, and it was going on target, but Del Bosco was on the post and more than aware. Balcatta have had their chances tonight, and they have scored in every NPL WWA fixture so far in season 2020. 17 of those have been on the road as well, even though this is a home game at a neutral venue. 17 of their 20 goals this season have been on the road, so they're not completely out of this one yet, as Douglas looks to play a 1-2 with Astorp. Rigby was once again in position A to effect the clearance. And then the pass was a little astray from Bridger going forward. Fremantle City maintain the ball for the moment. Tough battle to win here. Bridger comes out on top. Ball forward. Headed away by Diopra. Panea looks to find her fullback again. It'll eventually fall the way of Diopra, who goes back to Verino. Now Panea can turn and look to release Douglas down this left-hand side, but the pass had a bit too much heat on it. And as we know on this synthetic surface, the ball does skip away quite quickly. Worth noting, of course, that Balcatta's 20 goals, 11 of them did come last weekend, so that has slightly skewed their statistics and goal difference so far, but drawing level on 14 goals on the goal difference table with Mum FC could prove to be super important come season's end. And especially looking ahead to that game this weekend, our match of the round on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages, as a commentary game on Sunday afternoon. If they can get a result here, Balcatta, it'll set up that game really tantalisingly. Foul called on Isabel Bridger over on that far side. Not quite as free-flowing in this half in terms of chances. Fremantle City looking to perhaps preserve this 1-0 lead that they have. It would mean so much to them to close the gap on their top four opponents, but Balcatta may have a little something to say about that. Panea's cross was wayward though. Now Sancic. Took a little bit too long to dispose of the ball, and that gave possession back to Balcatta, who come forward through Diopra. It nearly worked its way all the way through to Astorp, and Jess Bird says that there was a foul on Astorp, and this will present Balcatta with a really good chance here from around 20 yards out. Douglas will take plenty of interest in this one, you suspect. Astorp is also lurking, as if she may think about driving this one. Douglas tees it off to Astorp, who drives and just didn't quite strike that one sweetly. Christy Astorp should be a little disappointed with that one. You'd suspect really good opportunity, 20 yards directly in front. And these two strikers have been in pretty good form this season. Possibly an opportunity wasted to get a shot on target there as Nadio cuts across. Last touch off there was Alberts, although Nadio was really composed and did nicely to get away as Crane brushes past her opponent and looks inside. Couldn't quite find Gale with the pass, and now Balcatta will look to hit back once more. They've got players on this right-hand side if they can get it out there, although Alberts rushed across a little. Astorp may yet make this work, but the offside flag's up over on that far side. Referee Jess Bird didn't see it, and in the end it didn't matter as play continued and Lions looks to launch Fremantle City onto the counter-attack. The ball forward is looking for the run of Jamie Lee Gale, who manages to stay on side here and cuts into the area. It's Gale, tries to just poke forward for the return of Lions, who'd continue to run. And now there's plenty of space in midfield if Balcatta are good enough to get forward and counter. Fremantle City bench just urging their team to work back that little harder. Particularly in midfield, there's definitely space there if Balcatta are quick enough to win the ball back. Leak, who switched sides to this right flank. Gale tries to turn that around the corner to Marchetti, but nothing doing. Nossent in very strongly on Nadio there. Fremantle City centre halves have been really good tonight, in all fairness. They've hardly put a foot wrong in general. Crane, nice football there from Fremantle City to get out of a tight corner, and they look to just maintain possession here. Through Rigby and Nadio, and now Bridger, who looks up the line for Lions, who has now drifted over to that left-hand side. First change of the night for Balcatta FC, and it's Eleanor Bates who's on. Unused substitute at the weekend and getting her chance to make an impact here, and she's on for Christy Astorp, who obviously scored those 4 goals at the weekend, but played from quite deep tonight for Balcatta. Perhaps just struggled to make an impact on that last line. Godding trying to get the better of 2 Fremantle City defenders. Does well to win the throw-in. Monique Godding, who was an NTC under-18s challenge squad member previously. Long-term player at the club and was the Reserves Player of the Year back in 2017. Panea. Cross into the area, looking for Douglas. Bates is arriving on the scene. Rigby won the aerial challenge, and Marchetti will link up with her experienced counterpart in defence once more. Play breaks down now. Godding. Douglas! Just pulled the shot a little thin. And drifted wide of Schroeder's goalpost in the end. Aside from Douglas's run in behind from Astorp's pass in that first half, you just sense that Fremantle City's own errors have perhaps presented Balcatta with their best chances of the evening so far, and there was another one there as they just didn't quite get that right playing out from the back. Good pressing though, of course, from Balcatta on the other hand to absolutely maintain that we do give that balanced opinion as Douglas looks to play that one forward, looking for the continued run of Alberts, but weight on the pass is a little too heavy. Fremantle City just switching their attacking lineup off camera. Gemma Crane now drifting to this right-hand side with Annabelle Leake moving into the middle. A very adaptable front four that they do have, but Gale's been leading the line all night. Now Balcatta have intercepted possession again here. Douglas, Godding, shot on goal, didn't quite catch that. Panea charged down the effort. It nearly fell to Godding again. Panea! Might have been creeping into that bottom corner. Schroeder had to produce a good save though. Actually, Panea's fancied her chances from range in this second half. Scored a great goal at the weekend. A lob over Subiaco's backup goalkeeper, and she forced Schroeder into a good save there. Now she's taking the corner. It's close to Schroeder once more, who punches away. Gale has to hoist it up and away into the clouds. Nossent. Godding was over there in support, and in the end, Bridger won the day. Space in midfield here for Fremantle City if they can get it out that way. The ball goes over the top instead, and trying to put the pressure on is Annabelle Leake. She's still charging willfully, but can't play from Dal Bosco at the back. Panea leaves that one for Godding, who does nicely to turn inside on her right foot. Pass for Bates was just in front of her, but she couldn't quite reel it in. A good looking move from Balcatta there, just breaks down. Douglas. Bates. Now running ahead of her is Harvey, who's into the area. Schroeder got half a block on it, and it was good enough. Good keeping again from Schroeder. She had to get out and make herself as big as possible to lessen the angle, and it was nearly an equalising goal from Cass Harvey, 2 good saves from the Fremantle goalkeeper in recent minutes. Balcatta with a little bit of wind behind their sails now, you sense, as Noscent charges down this right-hand side but runs out of territory. Douglas. Alberts crosses a dangerous one. Panea couldn't quite get ahead over the ball and keep it down. Dale Schroeder's doing her bit so far in terms of preserving the 3 points for Fremantle City. 2 saves in particular. 1-on-1 Douglas in the first half, and Harvey a moment ago were really good pieces of one-on-one goalkeeping. You just sense that Fremantle City are going to need a second one if they are to kill this game off completely. We did touch on it a minute ago. Balcatta have scored in every game so far in this competition. And they're mounting a charge here in this second half. Fremantle City 1, Balcatta FC 0. Been a really good game of football, this one. Good tempo, good pace to it. Both players giving it their all and plenty of chances at both hands. And now Crane looks to launch Fremantle City onto the counter-attack. She has her initial pass charged down, but comes up with the ball eventually. Now Leak. Trying to keep the ball alive over in that corner, and Diopera got a foot in, and the last touch was off Leak, so well done there by the Balcatta fullback. Pass up the line was off the instep of Panea's boot and actually landed inside the Fremantle City dugout. Second change from Fremantle City happening right in front of you on camera there. It's Annabelle Leak who departs. Done plenty of running tonight, has Leak, particularly in those left and right channels, and she's replaced by Jamie Lee Smith. Out and out striker who came off the bench to score the 3rd goal in that 3-0 night series win over the NTC back in March. She'll be hoping for a similar impact tonight to help her team keep the points safe, but have got a little bit of work to do yet. As Balcatta continue to press, although Sancic comes away with the ball. Crane is keeping the ball alive on that left-hand side and showing plenty of cast to jink outside and then in. Strong challenge from Bridger. Clearance by Noscent. Ended up at the feet of Harvey in the end, and that's a very good ball to release Douglas, but Rigby was once again reading it to perfection. And then that's tremendous play from Jamie Lee Gale to come from deep. Doppera had to get a foot in, and luckily for her she did, because Lyons and Smith were lurking in behind. Frenetic pace to end this one here. Still Fremantle City 1, Balcatta FC 0. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages tonight. Round 6, catch-up game. 3 points means so much to both of these teams in the context of the top 4 race this season. As Gemma Crane battles against 2 would-be Balcatta defenders down by the corner. She manages to get it back to Marchetti. Buxy steps around Harvey. Bridger. Pass was wide of the mark for Gale, who isn't quick enough to bring that one in. Rigby. Nadio. Ball's gone out of play as Isabel Bridger tried to keep it alive. And Nocent will try and get Balcatta on their way. Godding and Boxy were battling for possession. Boxy got a toe to it, tried to release Jamie Lee Smith, and now Jamie Lee Gale. The two Jamie Lees linking up in Fremantle's attacking half. Crane, lovely turn to wriggle away from her opponent, although she's still there. Fighting there was Verino, and now Lions will try and get across. Last touch off Diopera. And Fremantle City will get the corner. Final 5 minutes here at the Murdoch University campus. Fremantle City have a corner there, looking to add a second, which would surely seal the 3 points for tonight. Corner's taken short, clip into the area. Del Bosco got a punch to it, and it was enough of a fingertip. In the end, coming in was Boxy, and I think the last touch might have been off Jamie Lee Smith on that far side. It was, and Gabby Del Bosco will race after that to try and get it in play quickly. As we made mention earlier, the end of this game is officially the halfway point of the 2020 NPL WWA League season for all of these teams. Every team will have played 7 games after tonight. And at the weekend, we have a reverse of the round 1 fixtures. Fremantle City will be looking to get revenge against Perth Soccer Club team who upset them in round 1. Balcatta, meanwhile, will be playing against Mom FC, which is shaping up as a very exciting game on paper. And of course, that one's our commentary game at the weekend from Grindleford Reserve, as Bridger tries to win the corner and succeeds. It's at the right end of the field as far as Fremantle City are concerned. 3 players in the box at the moment. Lyons, Smith, and Bridger. Rigby arriving now. It's headed her direction. Rigby got her head to it, and she was unmarked in the end, and perhaps a player of her quality will be expected to have gotten that one on target. Mum FC at home, and then the Redbacks, and then Curtin in the next 3 for Balcatta, while it's Perth at home, the NTC, and the Redbacks at home for Fremantle City. Tough run of games, but then again, every game is a tough one in this competition. Fremantle City very happy with how play over the last few minutes has unfolded. They've still got a bit of work to do yet, though, as Douglas turns on halfway. Only one player ahead of her at the moment. She has her still on that right-hand side, and now Nossent is supporting two, but it does fall the way of Alberts in the end, who's got two in the middle, and the cross was a little disappointing. It was Bates and Panea who were arriving, and in the end it went straight out for a goal kick, and that'll be welcome relief. Schroeder in no rush to take the goal kick. In stoppage time with seconds ticking down, Smith does well to hold the play up. Santic is supporting from midfield, trying to make headway, and in the end the ball breaks to Gale, who will look forward for Smith. Big ball to win here between Douglas and Rigby, the two Glory W League teammates, and it was Rigby that won out on that occasion. And now Smith with a tremendous turn, and coming across there to win the ball was McCartney, the former Northern Redbacks defender, but the last touch was off the defender, and once again the ball stays in that desired territory for Fremantle City. They're not far away now. Seconds continuing to tick down. Lions in no real rush to get the ball moving. She eventually plays it short for Gale. And now Lions with the cross. Smith is lurking. It's over the head of Jamie Lee Smith, and it will drift out for a Balcatta throw. It's got to go time now as far as Balcatta are concerned, you'd think, but they try to play out it. A pocket in the corner. And that should just gift possession back to Fremantle City nicely. Is there one last chance for Balcatta here? Jess Bird looks at her watch. Not too many seconds left, you'd think. Panea gets it forward. Alberts tries to bring it down. Santic mops up in midfield and gets the ball back eventually to Schroeder under pressure of Douglas. Jess Bird has another look at her watch as Lions drives forward. She's got Jamie Lee Smith ahead of her. And that's the full-time whistle here at the Murdoch University campus. A big win for Fremantle City. A goal late in the first half provided to them by Michaela Lyons, their skipper. Her fourth of the season. Continues a three-game unbeaten run for the night series winners as coaches Thomas Richard and Lisa Tanner shake hands. It was an all-action first half. There was plenty of chances at both ends. Gabby Del Bosco's crossbar lived a charmed life at times as Jamie Lee Gale and Gemma Crane hit the woodwork. And in the second half, those chances dried up a little, but both teams still had opportunities to find the back of the net. Balcatta not hitting the score sheet for the first time in the NPL WWA in season 2020. They had their chances. Caitlin Douglas was denied in the first half from a good Dale Schroeder save, while in the second half in particular there was two big saves, firstly from Ashley Panea and then from Cassie Harvey as the half wore on. But it's 3 big points for Fremantle City. The night series winners are starting to find their groove a little bit. A third game unbeaten in a row, and they move up to the cusp of the top 4, and they put themselves within striking distance of the teams above them. Their surge for top 4 football is far from done. Balcatta will have to lick their wounds and go again against the leaders, Mum FC, at the weekend. That one is our commentary game for Football West on the YouTube channel and Facebook pages on Sunday afternoon. One of 4 fixtures involving all 8 NPL WWA teams, all kicking off at different times throughout Sunday afternoon. We hope you can join us for those games. But for now, from the Murdoch University campus, my name's Tommy Dolman. Been a great night of football here. Fremantle City winners by a goal to 0. We'll see you soon for another game. Good night.